So what I've noticed with all of my clients, yes, all of my clients and patients, was that at the core of all their issues, self-esteem was the major issue. So I see self-esteem as a major issue all across the globe. I think I think people have said that there's an identity crisis, which makes sense because a lot of people just are, don't know who they are anymore. They're constantly, told that they can't think like this, they can't think like that, and they are, comparing themselves to social media and all these like Instagram models, and people just don't, accept themselves for who they are. They think that they need to be different, and they see like their idols like Kylie Jenner getting, plastic surgery at 17 and changing her entire presence. So I think more people would be confident and have high self-esteem if they just knew how, and if they knew that it was actually attainable. And the way to do it is through your inner voice, your inner self-talk. That's the only way you're going to ever build sustainable confidence. So what I mean by sustainable, I mean like, yeah, you can feel good about yourself, like you can buy a new car or you can buy a new house, and then you're just going to plateau and be who you are, and then you're just going to try to get another dopamine boost, and it's just going to cycle. So that's why it has to come from within. It can't be external consumption. It has to be from within. So basically, I'm reading this. So okay, yes. So the first step to self-esteem is becoming self-aware. And how you become self-aware is you monitor your thinking habits and your patterns, and you monitor your thinking at all times, and you make a habit of doing it. So the reason why you want to make a habit of doing it is because you want to change any negative thoughts that are ruminating through your mind, and you want to do it instantly by replacing it with the most positive but believable version of that thought. So how you also do it is you want to embrace your negative emotions. So say you're having anxiety, right? Or you're feeling guilty or depressed or, just stressed. You want to confront that emotion. And what you're going to do is analyze it, and you're going to ask, why am I having this feeling? Where is this feeling coming from? What is the root? And it could take a lot of questions to get to the root cause. But when you do, it's going to feel like an epiphany, and you're going to say, aha. And then what you want to do after that is write it down. Yes, journal. So the journaling, there's so much research on it. It opens the door from your subconscious to your conscious mind, and it just lets you connect deeper within yourself and figure out what triggers, which could be people, places, or things, what's triggering your anxiety, what's triggering this emotion. And then, you want to, after you write it down, you want to get into solution mode. So now like you're feeling anxiety because of something deep, and it's something, a lot of times it's from childhood stuff that we have not processed, right? And it's so deep that yes, you want to go into solution mode and say, yeah, well, I haven't done this, I haven't done my responsibilities or whatever, and go into solution mode and write down, okay, this is what I'm going to do to handle that, and then your anxiety will subside. However, you want to get to the root cause. So you want to do about 5 to 10 minutes of mind management exercises every day for 60 days, and that will change your default thinking pattern into a positive one from a negative one. So that is going to change your life. And what I mean to change your life, it's going to make you feel so much better. Probably about 3 or 4 days, but after that you're going to plateau. And then once you plateau, then you're going to want to stop, and you can't. You have to push on, because this is really, really important. If I knew about this years ago, I would have done it years ago, but I didn't. So then you want to write it down. And then once you write it down and you figure out what the root cause is, say it's like you think that you don't deserve it, you're going to find a replacement thought to replace that thought at least 7 times a day. So every time you start to feel a bad emotion, or you start to think a negative thought, you're going to get it right in the beginning, and you're going to use that replacement thought that you've already prepared for yourself that day. So a replacement thought looks like this. It's kind of like, say, okay, that's what I've done in the past. That's not who I am, and I deserve to be happy, and I'm going to forgive myself from the past. Something like that, like a simple sentence, like, yes, I deserve to be happy. No, I don't want to. Someone's calling me from Spain. That's weird. Anyway, so it's going to be like, just say you always see the negative for the positive, and that's not really deep from childhood. So say it's like you feel like you will never amount to something because that's what your teachers told you or your parents told you or something. So you're going to say, that is not true. That person was telling a 6-year-old that I'm not going to amount to anything. What's wrong with that person? Like so the big, huge player in this whole thing is you have to be 100% honest with yourself. So that's how you're going to become self-aware and be able to dig deep into your and confront your root cause of what is behind the negative emotion. So you have to be 100% honest with yourself, and if you're not, it's not going to work. So kind of look outside yourself objectively if you have a problem, and say, what would I tell my best friend? I wouldn't tell my best friend that she's a piece of crap, or I'd be very gentle, so just, if you have a hard time being honest with yourself, just step outside yourself. We have the ability to look outside ourselves, look at what we're doing objectively, as if we are standing outside ourselves. So you want to, so that's a huge piece of this puzzle, being honest with yourself, and then doing that daily. So you want to spend about 2 minutes journaling, 2 minutes analyzing, but it goes analyzing, then journaling, then find your replacement thought. And the replacement thought is going to be different every day. And it's just going to be something that you're going to tell yourself upon feeling negative emotions. I'm going to say, I do deserve to be happy. I'm choosing to move forward. I'm choosing to let go of the past, or, I'm not going to hold myself responsible for the past anymore, or something. So then after that, that's it. So you want to either put an alarm on your phone with your replacement thought, and or every time you get a negative emotion, remind yourself of what that thought is. So, and once you're paying attention to your negative self-talk and you stop doing it, and you don't use the words I can't, you stop saying I should have done this, you stop living in the past and you live in the present, and you learn to accept yourself, and you're learning to regulate your own emotions, and then you are building a strong identity of who you are and self-acceptance, and that naturally leads to higher self-esteem. So it takes work, and it takes, it definitely takes work. And a lot of people have a difficult time doing it by themselves. They need the support. I can do that for you. That's what I do. However, I did it by myself, and I just had a supportive person with me. So it just depends if you want to do it with your friend, hold each other accountable.